Está ahí todo prosperando.
Bien, bien.
Gracias a ustedes también, a todos los cantos y todo, así que gracias.
Bueno.
All right, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días,
Jai
Shuddha.
Sachidanand.
Buenos días,
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. All right, wonderful.
Sachidanand.
Let us, Arman, let us begin with
Sí.
3 mantras.
Jai Sachidanand, Shuddha.
Jai Sachidanand.
Buenos días, Shuddha. Good
Jai Sachidanand.
morning.
Good morning, good morning. Yes.
Jai
Buen día,
Sachidanand.
Shuddha.
Jai Sachidanand. All right. So who'd
¿Cantaste el
like?
trimantra,
La
Germán?
señal está que va y viene.
¿Canto yo?
Sí, te pidió
Ok.
Shuddha.
Ok. Namo Vitragai, Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayareyanam, Namo Vasayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Savapavapanashano, Mangalanam Cha Saubesim, Padamam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Sachidanand. Namo Vitragai. Namo Arihantanam. Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayareyanam, Namo Vasayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Savapavapanashano, Mangalanam Cha Sauvesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Sachidanand. Namo Vitragai. Namo Arihantanam. Namo Siddhanam. Namo Ayareyanam. Namo Vasayanam. Namo Loe Savasahunam. Eso Panchanamukaro, Savapavapanashano, Mangalanam Cha Sauvesim, Padamam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Satchidanam. Jai Satchidanam. Jai Satchidanam.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Satchidanam.
Jai Sachitana.
So, today we begin the 11th session of Purnatva on the 11th of January. Continuing with our series on the progress of the self from Amapura to Absolute Amapura.
Hoy, 11 de enero del 2022, vamos a continuar con nuestra 11ª sesión de Punya, Help Me, Punya Tai
Purnatva. Purnatva.
Purnatva.
Purnatva.
Purnatva. Y el título es El progreso del ser hacia el absoluta alma pura.
Purnatva is a state of fullness, you see, state of fullness. It's fullness of the self.
Purnatva es el estado de absoluta alma pura.
Yes. Okay, and the last heading we covered was as many Kashayas you win, as many Kashayas you win, conquer, win over Kashayas, yes, that much energy will arise. You see, that much energy will arise of the self.
El último título que vimos es cuanto más Kashaya conquistes, mucha energía del ser surgirá.
And winning of the Kashayas means and the only way one wins Kashayas is to rise above Kashayas, you see, to be in the self. You see. Where there is the self, there is no Kashaya. There is no Kashaya where there is the self.
Yes. Cómo se le gana o cómo se conquistan los Kashayas, y es estar más allá de los Kashayas, es estar en el ser. Estando en el ser no hay Kashayas.
Next heading is very interesting because next heading is also essentially defining bliss, you see. So bliss is indeed the absence of Kashayas.
Este título que vamos a ver ahora define esencialmente la dicha. Y como se define esencialmente la dicha es en ausencia de Kashayas.
So Kashaya, as we all know, is anger, pride, deceit, greed. Okay, you all know that.
El Kashaya es ira, orgullo, codicia y engaño.
When you put an A in front of the Kashaya, Akashaya means absence of Kashaya. You know, in any front of, if you put an A in front of any Gujarati word, it becomes the opposite. Gnan, Agnan, you see. Kashaya, Akashaya. And Akashaya.
Cuando colocamos la letra A frente a cualquier letra en Gujarati, el sentido va a ser el contrario. Entonces, si a Kashaya le ponemos una letra A adelante, Akashaya es lo contrario, quiere decir ausencia de Kashaya. Es como decir, por ejemplo, Agnan y Gnan, es lo opuesto, Gnan y Agnan.
Now, the heading exactly is Akashaya Bhaav Age Sukh. In other words, whenever something happens in front of you, either you could be neutral, unaffected, or you could enter it and say, oh, what's happening? Stop it. Don't do it, you see. So, Akashaya Bhaav is the view that lets you see the view in which there is no Kashaya. The view, you see, the view of the self, relative, real, vyavasthit, there is no Kashaya there, you see.
Yes. Cuando algo sucede enfrente, pueden pasar dos cosas. Una es que te mantengas neutral y la otra es que puedas caer en el Kashaya y comenzar a pelear. En la visión que te permite ver, en la visión del ser, los Kashayas no existen, no hay Kashayas.
Dadashri now begins. He says, it is because of this entire kingdom of Kashayas that there is pain, is it not? Is this entire world of Kashayas that there is pain, you see? Otherwise, there is no pain at all in this world.
Dada dice que dice es porque este es el reino de los Kashayas, es que hay dolor. De otra manera no existiría el dolor.
Is the kingdom of the Kashaya is the reason for the pains, you see?
El reino de los Kashayas es la razón por el dolor.
Otherwise, there is no pain at all, you see?
De otra manera no habría dolor de ninguna manera.
Well, Dadashri is now asking all of us, Dada is asking, we have come into the Swarup, the state of the self. You and I have come home into the state of the self. So I am Apura. But even then, why is the bliss of the self getting covered up? Why is the bliss of the self getting covered up? Why?
Dada dice que todos entramos en Swarup, que es el estado del ser, que yo soy alma pura. Pero ¿por qué la dicha del ser está cubierta?
Why is the bliss of the self veiled? Veiled means to put a cover over it. Because there is the army, reign of discharge Kashayas, you see, discharge Kashayas. Whenever there are Kashayas that are happening in discharge for you, then, you see, the bliss of the self will get veiled. It will get covered.
¿Y por qué se vela? ¿Por qué hay un velo en la dicha? Porque hay como una armada de Kashais ahí, y es la descarga de los Kashais lo que está sucediendo.
That is why self bliss is veiled. It's veiled.
Es por eso que la dicha del ser es velada o cubierta.
Kashaya, Dada says, it means pain. And wherever there is pain, there is Kashaya. This is also important. Remember, in this world, wherever there is pain, whether in others or in you, it is because of Kashayas, you see. And wherever there is pain, there is Kashaya. Wherever there is Kashaya, there is pain.
Dada dice que donde hay Kashais hay dolor y donde hay dolor hay Kashais. Puede ser en mí o en cualquier otra persona, pero donde hay dolor hay Kashais.
And vice versa. You see, vice versa means wherever there is pain, there is Kashaya, and vice versa, wherever there is Kashaya, there is pain.
Entonces, donde hay Kashai hay dolor y viceversa, cuando hay dolor hay Kashais.
So Sukha, all of you know Sukh. Sukh means pleasure or bliss. And Dukkha, opposite. Dukkha means pain. Or misery, you see. Misery means extended pain, much more pain in different directions called misery. Wherever you look, you're miserable, you know.
Sukh es placer o dicha. Sukh, placer o dicha. Y Dukh es dolor o miseria.
So Dadashri now says, Sukh, bliss. What he means here is not pleasure in the relative. We have pleasure and the body feels good. When the mind feels good, and the body feels good, you see. When somebody speaks pleasant words to you, all of these things gives relative sukh, relative pleasure, and absence of kashais, abhav of kashais, abhav. Bhav means to move towards it, and abhav means you stay away from it. So abhav of kashais, there is Akashaya Bhaav. Akashaya Bhaav means the view where there are no Kashais. Amapura. The Akashaya Bhaav is bliss. Amapura is bliss. Loose Laura state, slipping into loose aura. Laura, there is the pain and the pleasure changing. Pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure.
Abhav es alejado de los Kashais, donde no hay Kashais. Pero antes había dicho, cuando hay placer, la mente y el cuerpo se sienten bien, ¿no? Cuando te dicen cosas lindas también te sentís bien. Pero alejado de los Kashais, abavo, es que no hay Kashais, entonces no hay dolor ni hay placer.
Yes. So you see, this word bhav is used in so many different ways by Dada. You know, here bhav, abhav. Bhav means presence, you know. Whenever you look at something, whenever you look at anything in this world, either you're neutral or you're moved towards it, you see. You're moved towards it, and that is called bhav. Or, you see, so if you move towards it, why is like this, why is she like this, why is he doing this. That is called moving towards that, your energy is going in that direction, and that is called bhav. Bhav means you're neutral. You're not affected. You're not affected. Abhav.
Cuando miras algo, puedes mirarlo de forma neutral. Y es porque estás en presencia. Y también lo puedes mirar involucrándote y preguntando por qué está pasando esto, por qué dice eso. Abhavo es cuando miras de forma neutral y no te mezclas. Y cuando es abhavo es que estás alejado, que no te mezclas con lo que está sucediendo, que estás en forma neutral.
Yeah. Bhav, not bhavo. Bhavo, not bhavo. Bhav, yeah.
Bhav, bhav.
Bhav, yes.
Bhav.
Wow, yes, wow. Like wow, you see? So Akashaya Bhaav, the neutrality towards Kashaya. In other words, you are not, it doesn't affect you. That is bliss. That is bliss, you see? You talk about Satchit Anand, that is bliss. Anand. That Anand, where there is no Kashaya, there is zero Kashaya of any kind, that is bliss. See? That is the correct definition of bliss, Satchit Anand. Whereas the other one is Sukh, the other one is pleasure, you see. The other one is relative in pleasure. You understand, Carlos? You understand? Carlos, you understand?
Akashaya Bhaav es neutral a los kashayas, no te afecta, es bendición, dicha pura. Satchitanam es dicha, hay cero kashayas. Esa es la correcta definición de dicha. El otro es sukh, que tiene que ver con lo relativo.
And Dadashri says, Bhagwan, all gods, including you inside, is Akashayi, means Akashayi. Akashayi means without any kashayas. So you, the awakened one, you is Soyama Pura. There's no kashayas. There is no kashay there. You see? Kashayas, discharge kashayas happen to Laura, happen to Carlos, happen to Luz, you see? Happens to Shuddha, but not I, not I.
Dice que todos los dioses son Akashaya y tú eres el alma pura, no Kashais. El Kashai es una descarga y eso le ocurre a Carlos, a Luz, a Shuddha, pero no al ser, al yo verdadero.
There is no pain at all. Dada says, the Lord is called Akashaya. The Gnani is called Akashaya. No Kashaya. There is no Kashaya. There is zero Kashaya in the Gnani. You see? And we are all slowly becoming. Zero Kashaya means even in discharge there are no Kashayas. Even in discharge there are no Kashayas.
Yes. Dice que no hay absolutamente, que en un Gnani no es Akashai, no hay cero, no hay ningún dolor, entonces es Akashai. El Gnani es Akashai, cero Kashai tiene. Y todos lentamente vamos hacia eso y cero Kashai. Y cuando los Kashai suceden, la descarga sucede de Kashais, no te afecta.
Yeah, so we come to the end of this heading. Akashaya Bhaav is bliss, you see. Now we all understand what Akashaya Bhaav is. Kashaya Bhaav, there are two bhavs. There are two bhavs. Kashaya Bhaav means the view with Kashayas, you know. The view with Kashayas, the view with anger, I don't like that person. The view with anger, I want more of that. View with greed, you see. Kashaya Bhaav and Akashaya Bhaav. There is nothing there. There is nothing there for you to get into, you see.
Dice el Akashaya Bhaav, que hay Kashaya Bhaav, la visión con Kashais, ¿no? Que es la ira, el enojo, la codicia, quiero más, y después está el no Kashaya Bhaav, que es no hay nada para entrar.
Yeah, so now we move to the next heading. Okay, so the next heading on page 24.
Próxima página 22, próximo título.
Kashaya, that Kashaya, then there is only pain. You say, where there is Kashaya, there is only pain. People of the world do not know this, you see. They only feel the pain and the hurt, but they do not understand the Kashaya underlying. It's the presence of the Kashaya. The presence of the Kashaya is the reason why they are in pain. They don't know that, see. We are learning exactly, each one of us are learning that pain is the result, Kashaya is the cause, you see. Kashaya is the cause. Pain comes later, you see.
Los Kashais, donde hay dolor, suceden solamente donde hay dolor, hay Kashai, donde hay Kashai solamente hay dolor. El mundo no sabe ni entiende de esto. La presencia de los Kashais es la razón por que la gente sufra. Y Kashai es la causa y el dolor luego viene.
So she says, this is important, and we all know this, but it's important. When there is no Kashaya, then inside there is no pain at all. Inside. Everything is inside, really. It's not, there is nothing outside. Everything is inside you see. Inside the mind, inside the body, you see. So when there is no Kashaya, then there is inside, there is no pain at all, you see.
Data dice, donde no hay Kashais, no hay dolor dentro. Y en realidad todo está dentro de la mente y está dentro del cuerpo.
Yeah.
Donde no hay Kashais, no hay dolor de ninguna forma.
No matter what someone does, no matter what anyone else does, you see, around you or away from you, there is no pain inside. That is called no Kashaya.
Cuando no importa lo que cualquier persona haga y no hay dolor adentro, entonces no hay Kashais de ninguna manera.
And if there are Kashayas obviously inside, if there are Kashayas inside, then even if no one has done anything, even if no one has done anything, there will be pain, you see. This is an important observation. Somebody else has not done anything, but because of your kashais, you are getting very hurt about, oh, look, he's not doing anything. He's not. He's still sitting there. He's this and he's that, you see. You know, or she's like this and she's like that. She has not done anything. She's just sitting, or he's just doing his thing. But the one because of presence of Kashaya inside you, there is pain, you see.
Si hay Kashayas, aunque nadie haya hecho algo, vas a estar diciendo, bueno, ¿por qué es así? ¿Por qué dijo esto? ¿Por qué está sentado? Y la otra persona solamente está sentada, no hizo nada. El Kashaya está dentro de la persona.
So now Dada has got the root cause of pain in this world, and that he says is Kashayas. And for Mahatmas who are in any kind of pain or misery or problems, is because of Kashaya and Kashaya only. It's only because of Kashaya. Or Kashaya effect, in other words. Kashayas have happened and now the effects are there, you see.
Yes. Dada dice esto, maravilloso. Dada cortó la raíz del dolor, cortó los Kashayas. Y con esto también se termina la miseria y los problemas. Y esta es la causa, es el efecto, el Kashaya es el efecto, el Kashaya efecto. Lot of years of therapy.
What did you say?
Lot of years of therapy.
Lot of years of therapy, huh?
And here you are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know, what can we do? That is all we knew. You see, the door, door to the light was closed. Door to the loose of Ama was closed, you see. Ama loose. The light of the self was not open, you see.
Te digo, ayuda a años de terapia y viene con la palabra de Dada así tan simple, ¿no? Y es así, es la luz del alma, no entraba.
So the questioner is asking, the questioner is asking with reference to, questioner is saying, આપણા નિમિત્તે કોઈને કિંચિત માત્ર દુઃખ થાય. Okay, so the questioner is saying, if because of our nimit, if somebody develops the slightest amount of pain, or I experience such pain. So both ways, because everything is nimit, excites nimit. So he is using the word nimit, evidence, because of somebody's evidence. Somebody has come, somebody's evidence, I experience the slightest amount of pain, or because of my nimit, the other person experiences the slightest, not big a pain, even the slightest pain. Is that not called Kashais? All of that is not called, is that all Kashais? Is that Kashai?
Pregunta, Dada, por nuestros nímites, si alguien muestra dolor o yo experimento dolor, todos son limits elementos por las evidencias de que yo experimento dolor u otra persona experimenta dolor. ¿Eso es Kashais?
Yeah. Is that a Kashaya? And Dadashri replies, yeah, it's all Kashaya.
Y Dada responde, todo es Kashai.
Yeah. In other words, ultimately comes right down to Kashaya is invisible. You can't see Kashayas, but you can see the effects of Kashayas. People are hurt, two friends meet, and yet something happens, and one lady goes away with, a sour face, or is hurt, you see. It's Kashaya. They're friends, they love each other, but it has happened. It's because of Kashaya.
Dada dice, ¿no? Que todos son Kashais. Los Kashais son efectos invisibles y lo que muestran sí es el dolor. Por ejemplo, se junta gente que son amigos, se quieren, pero alguna persona tal vez se va con la cara fruncida o con algún dolor, pero esos son efectos de Kashais.
Kashaya means, as she says, Kashaya means samsarik dukh, sansar, worldly pain. Kashaya means worldly pain.
Kashais, dice Dada, es samsara, que es dolor mundano. Kashaya.
Kashaya. Yeah, Kashaya. I like to write YA to make emphasis on Kashaya. When you say Kashaya, or there is a very subtle difference between Kashaya and Kashaya. It doesn't matter. Our English translators in Simada City, they don't like to use the word A at the end, but that's okay. It's the same thing, okay? We are trying to convey the same thing. Kashaya.
Yo había escrito Kashaya y Kashai es lo mismo. Vamos a usar esa explicación.
Yes, so Dadashri says, any kind of pain, if you want to label it, it's called Kashaya. Any kind of pain anywhere is called Kashaya.
Cualquier Dada dice, cualquier clase de dolor, si lo quieres etiquetar, es Kashai.
Any kind of pain, you see, not just the pain. Hola, Christian. Jai Sachidanand Shuddhatma Bhagwan. Any kind of pain is Kashaya, you see, is Kashaya. Any kind of pain. Dada, these are all exact words of Dada. Any kind of pain is Kashaya. And that is why our Deepak Pai, dear our Gnani, continuously comes down to asking everyone, are you giving? Are you hurting the other person? The complaint usually is, she is the reason why I'm having a lot of difficulty, or he is the reason why I'm having difficulty. Then the Gnani's question to him or her is, are you giving any pain to that person? Are you becoming a nimit in any hurt to that person? This is fundamental, what we call level 1, still. For level 1, level 2, level 3. Stop the pain to others, you see. That's the beginning of moving away from Kashaya.
Dada, y el Nani también está, lo dice siempre, ¿no? ¿Estás lastimando a alguien? ¿Estás lastimando a esa persona? ¿Estás lastimando o hiriendo algún limit? Y este es el primer nivel, no herir a nadie.
That again, I have to repeat this sentence because that is important. Any kind of pain is called Kashaya. Okay, any kind of pain is called Kashaya, okay? Kashaya.
Cualquier clase de dolor es Kashaya.
The pain continues to happen inside. The pain is experienced inside. Vedana, Vedana. The Vedana, the effect of suffering, pain, you see, Vedana continues inside, you see, continues inside. Now, you see, there is nothing going on. There's no pain outside. In other words, there's no pain outside. You know, the person, there is two people who have fought. There is no pain outside. Both have got beautiful homes, beautiful bodies. All their necessities are taken care of. There is no pain outside, but the suffering, the Vedana of this Kashaya continues inside, you see. That is called Kashaya. That is called Kashaya.
Vedana es el efecto de sufrir en la forma interior. Nada sucede afuera. Tienen una casa linda, tienen salud, tienen todo cubierto, pero continúa el dolor adentro. Sin que nada suceda afuera.
Okay, now Dadashri asks $1 million question to all of us. Does this pain happen to you? Does this pain happens to you? You see, if any such pain happens to you, my friends, you know, Dadashri.
Y esta es la pregunta del $1.000.000 de Dada. ¿Este dolor te sucede a ti?
Yeah. તમને થાય છે એ દુઃખ? Does this pain happen to you? That pain that Dada has described, outside everything is fine. Yes, but some file interaction has happened and now there is burning, there is suffering inside. You see, there is Vedana. Now, while we are here, let's just, you are all familiar with the word Vedas, you know, Vedas. Vedas means the great Hindu scriptures, right? Great Hindu scriptures. Vedas Upanishads, yes, Hindu scriptures, right? And then Vedas, okay, then there is Vedanta. That means the knowledge at the end of Vedas, you see? The knowledge following the end of Vedas. Vedas. All right. Now, it's kind of interesting. These are all words connected. Veda, Vedana, Vedant, Vedavu, Nirved. Nirved. I am beyond any suffering of this pain. I am Nirved. I do not suffer the pains that arise inside. That is the highest state. I am Nirved. We have covered this in Parayan, but you may have forgotten. Vedas, okay? Not all of this exactly as I'm describing, but Vedas are the Hindu scriptures, famous Hindu scriptures, you know, very ancient Hindu scriptures.
Bueno, entonces Dada dice, este dolor te sucede a ti y afuera está todo bien, pero el file tuvo una interacción, un dolor, y entonces el dolor surge y continúa. Y habla de los Vedas, que es son escrituras antiguas hindúes, y de los Vedantas, que son los que siguen este conocimiento, y después del Nirved, que es el estado más elevado de estar más allá de todo dolor.
Yeah. So now you see, this is the interesting thing. Dada has defined Veda, the real meaning, Veda, like the Vedas, the scriptures. Veda really means to know. You see, Veda is to know, and Vedavu means to suffer. Now you see, you see how suffering somehow in everything in life, suffering is associated with knowing. You suffer pleasure, you suffer pleasure, you suffer pleasure, or you suffer pain. You suffer pain. Both is called Vedavu, or you're suffering, Vedavu. So it becomes a verb, and Vedas is noun, Vedavu is suffering, and then knowing also. So Vedas is also to know this suffering, you see. This is all connected.
Dada dice que Veda es saber, es conocer, Vedavu es sufrir, y es sufrir placer o dolor, ambos, ¿no? Y nada más.
Yeah, in Aptavani 12, English, the English of which is available, the big full book, you see, there is a whole chapter on pain, on pain, the suffering of pain, you see, and the suffering of pain is broken down into these different layers, you see. To know, to suffer, and to know, you see. First, you're aware that there is something going on inside your body or your mind, and that is the knowing part. And then you say, oh man, I'm hurting. So now you're suffering. Or, the same thing with an insult, you think it's happening to you. And then comes the knowing part. That is happening to Gabrielle or Herman, is not happening to you. And that is to know, you see. So you rise this way.
En el Aptavani 12 en inglés hay un capítulo dedicado muy bueno sobre el sufrimiento. Hay un capítulo entero dedicado al sufrimiento, al sufrir el dolor. Y está enfocado en diferentes capas, ¿no? Por ejemplo, sabes algo que está sucediendo en tu mente y tu cuerpo, o luego puede ser que lastimo o me lastimen un insulto, y ahí aparece el saber, ¿no? Y es como que hay que estar
Aptavani 12.
más allá de eso.
Aptavani 12.
Aptavani 12, yes.
Oh.
En el Aptavani 12 hay un capítulo dedicado a...
Oh, those means 12, huh? And 2 means what?
12. 2, 2. 12, 12.
Oh, okay, 12. 12. All right. So everything is fine outside, but what is happening inside is also all the, the burning, the pain that happens inside is Kashaya, says Dada. You see, is all Kashaya. You see, somebody hurts you or says something to you, you are fine outside, but inside you, the Kashaya. If you're hurting inside, it's called Kashaya. It is Kashaya. You might not show it on your face or you might not say anything, but it is still Kashaya there.
todo afuera está bien, pero el dolor es adentro y eso es Kashaya. Y si alguien te lastima, te hiere, te insulta, eso está sucediendo dentro, es Kashaya.
So, when Dada asks, do you get that kind of pain? And the questioner is replying, not pain, but that temporary, that temporary depression comes. The temporary depression comes, Dada.
Tú tienes ese dolor y le dice, eso se vuelve una depresión temporal.
Yes. So Dadashri says, there's no problem with depression. You feel a little bad, and there is no problem with depression. The problem is pain. Look at the answer of Dada, it's very beautiful. Somebody insults you, somebody does something terrible to you, and if, in the person who is most likely a Mahatma, Dada, she says, there is a temporary depression. I feel a little depressed because of what happened. Dada, she says, depression is not the problem. The pain is the problem. If the pain begins within you, you have received that mail. That person's mail has been received, you see. Letter box, he sent, and now you open the letter and you are involved in it, you see. So it says, pain is the problem.
Dice Dada que no hay problema con la depresión, el problema es el dolor. Es el dolor, ese es el problema, el dolor. Por ejemplo, si recibiste una carta o un mail y tú lo abres y lo miras, ahí ya lo recibiste.
Yeah, pain is the problem. See how beautifully Dada is focusing us on exactly what you and I have experienced in life. You see, what we all, each one of us have gone through. So he's focusing on the little tiny subtle stuff that is going on inside us to make us understand the nature of Kashayas, you see. Okay. So then, Dadashri says the problem is with the pain. And the questioner says, no, I don't get that kind of pain, Dada. You see, so obviously he's a Mahatma. He says pain doesn't come. The questioner says, okay. Then Dadashri says, you might think that way, that there is no pain. Dada is still going after him. Dada is still telling Christian or Herman, you might say there is, no problem, that I don't have any pain. It may feel that way, that you don't have any pain, you see. But you are not able to see many components of it. Your language is thick language. Your language is thick language, this thick. And your language is, and what I'm speaking is very fine language. I'm speaking very fine sliced language. So you will not understand it, would you?
Dada sigue insistiendo, ¿no? Dice, por ejemplo, que el problema es el dolor. Y el Mahatma dice, bueno, no, pero yo soy Mahatma. Y Dada sigue preguntando, dice, puedes decir que no tienes dolor, pero es porque no puedes ver. Tu lenguaje tal vez es como muy grosero y grueso, y por ahí mi lenguaje es como muy fino.
You see, in thick language, this is what thick language and thin language Dada is used. Chadi bhasha, patadi bhasha. You see, this is subtle stuff. Thick language means it is a directly thickness of the language grossness of the language is directly related to the awareness of a human being. Awareness. The more aware a human being is, the finer his words and language become. You see, finer the language becomes. I give you a classic example. I was born in Kenya and I was raised in Kenya. Kenya, we have Swahili. You can mix around the words and you can still convey the stuff. You see, simple. Then English has got 26 alphabets. And Gujarati has got 38 alphabets, ways of writing language. It goes. That is one aspect of language. That is the physical relative part. This that Dada is talking about is internal communication language. It is a direct reflection of your awareness. The more aware, I'm sorry if I'm speaking too much, the more aware you are, the more sensitive you will be to what is happening inside you. Inside you, see? You'll be more sensitive to what is happening inside you. You see, this is not the sensitivity to others, oh, somebody says something, you get upset. Not that kind of sensitivity. This is the sensitivity that allows you to see what is going on inside so that you can understand your kashayas, you see.
Yes. El lenguaje, acá cuando se habla del lenguaje grueso, sí, es un lenguaje que está como que cuanto más relacionado cuando más fino es el lenguaje, está más relacionado con la conciencia. Cuando es grueso no está relacionado con la conciencia. Shuddha dice que nació en Kenia y que hablaban otros idiomas, pero de todas maneras igual se entendían. Que el inglés, por ejemplo, tiene 26 letras en el alfabeto, el gujarati tiene 38. Pero todo esto tiene que ver con el aspecto físico relativo. En la comunicación interna es una comunicación sensitiva a todo lo que sucede dentro, para que puedas entender, para que puedas saber lo que sucede.
Dada is giving some simple. His Dada started, do you have pain inside? And he says, no, I just feel a little depressed. And then he says, pain is the problem, Dada says. So the person says, oh, pain is the problem. So the questioner says, no, I don't have any pain. Dadashri says, you may feel that way, that you don't have any pain. It may seem that you don't have any pain, but you are not able to see so much inside. You see, this is so subtle. You and I may go around saying, I'm fine now in this world, because I'm a Mahatma. But there is, this Prakriti is every Prakriti, yours or mine, is extremely susceptible to what is going on around, you see. And it accumulates stuff, you see. It takes in stuff, you see. And that is why the Gnani prefers a certain environment around him, you see.
Siguiendo con esto de preguntar, ¿tienes pena dentro? No, solo depresión, dice el Mahatma. Y Dada dice, bueno, puedes sentir que no tienes dolor, pero no lo ves, porque es tan sutil. Y todo Prakruti es sensible a todo lo que sucede alrededor. Entonces, puedes quedarte pegado a algo o no.
Now the Mahatmas who is asking these questions, this Q&As, is very, very smart, you see. He's Dadashri says, you will not understand the subtle stuff that's going on inside, would you? Your language is thick. You see, your language, your mode of reception is thick. It is not fine yet, you see. And so you will not understand this subtle stuff, would you? So now the questioner, therefore, quickly changes. What he says is, he switches it around. What he says is, you know, that nirakurta that is prevailing, the nirakurta that is prevailing. Now again, another very important word coming, but it is this, you cannot, I'm sorry, my friends, we cannot do without these words because we are now in the language of the Amapura and beyond. This is not the language of the world anymore, okay? So in order to rise higher, to higher and higher, we will have to use these highly technical terms. It is very equivalent to the, the astronauts, when they go up in the space, their language is not relative, the science of the world anymore. They're speaking very, very different language when it comes to their spaceship, you see.
Acá dice que el Mahatma que le hizo esta pregunta a Dada era muy inteligente. Y Dada le dice, sí, pero tu lenguaje todavía es como muy grueso, no es fino, y esto de lo que te estoy hablando es muy sutil. Entonces acá trae la palabra nirakurta, Shuddha, y nos pide perdón porque es una palabra que tenemos que conocerla para poder entender este elevado conocimiento. Por ejemplo, los astronautas cuando salen al espacio están en la nave, no están usando el lenguaje común dentro de la nave en el espacio.
Okay, so what does he say? When in the prevailing nirakurta, and I'll explain to you nirakurta in a minute here, in the prevailing nirakurta, if there is a slight change, is that called pain? If there is a slight change, there is a slight change, okay, is that called pain? It's a very beautiful answer, a question from a Mahatma, you see. Is that called pain? Because, he's asking Dada. Now, nir means without, you see. Nir means without. Like vikalp means I am Shuddha. I am Shuddha. Vikalp. And nir vikalp means I am not Shuddha, or, I am not Laura, you see. There is no I am this there. That is called nirvikalp. Nir. So nir means without. Akud. Akuda means akud means easy state or comfortable. Akud. And then akud, akudta, akud. And so there is another one called vyakud. Vyakud means uneasy. Okay. So now akud and vyakud, it means easy and uneasy. Easy and uneasy is the state of each one of us in the relative. You see, sometimes we are fine, sometimes we are not. You see, sometimes we are comfortable, sometimes we are uncomfortable, and it is all at the level of mind, body, and words. Akud, vyakud, easy, uneasy, goes on from morning till evening for all of us in the relative. You see, in the relative. And beyond easy and uneasy, beyond easy, uneasy and easy, uneasy and easy is nirakud, nirakurta, nirakud. You are neither you're neither connected to the easy part, nor are you connected to the uneasy part of this complex called Christian or Harman, you see. That is called Nirakurta, you see. Nirakud state, or Nirakurta means the state of being Nirakud. Nirakud. I am neither easy nor uneasy. Easy and uneasy is when somebody says, how are you, Christian? I'm fine, or I'm not so fine. You see, that is called easy, uneasy state. Huh? And beyond that is Nirakud. You're not affected by what is happening to Christian.
Yes, let's see. Nir quiere decir sin. Y akurta quiere decir es un estado confortable. Y Nirakurta es más allá de lo fácil o difícil. Eso es Nirakur. Y no estar conectados, estar más allá de lo fácil o difícil, porque esto de Nirakur, de lo fácil o difícil, está relacionado con Christian, con lo relativo, con el file one.
Yes. Now this Nirakud, Nirakud Sukh, it is called, so there are Sukh, pleasures are of two types now. Pleasure is when there is less pain, in the body or in the mind, then there is a sense of pleasure or comfort, you see. Less pain is perceived as pleasure, you see. When the pain of the hunger is less and less and gone, that is considered pleasure, you see. So there is that relative pleasure, and then there is the pleasure of the self, which is called bliss, you see. The self bliss, which is present regardless of what is happening here in the relative comfort, discomfort, comfort, discomfort, you see. And that Nirakud pain, Nirakud state, bliss, is 12.5%. Ours, each Mahatma in the Gnan Vidhi has attained 12.5% of the state of the bliss, of the blissful Lord, Siddha Bhagwan, the Siddha Bhagwan, Siddhanam, Namo Siddhanam, and the Vitrag Lord, the Absolute Lord, if his 100% bliss, you and I have attained 12.5% in the Gnan Vidhi. We have attained that. Without that, all of these discussions will be useless. It will go through the intellect and get out as soon as we walk out, you see.
Nirakurt es el estado de dicha de Sita Bhagwan, ¿no? Que es lo que obtuvimos todos en el Gnan Vidhi. Está el placer lo define como cuando el dolor baja, pero no desaparece. Eso es placer, pero esto tiene que ver con el placer relativo. El placer del ser es la dicha presente, la felicidad presente, más allá de todo lo que esté sucediendo. Más allá de las situaciones cómodas, fáciles, difíciles, es la dicha del ser.
The question and answers that are going on do not give you all this explanation. I'm just adding that from, the words, as I explained to you. So he says, Dada, that Nirakurta that is prevailing now, and that Nirakurta automatically implies the bliss, you see. The bliss that is prevailing The bliss of the self is the other name of Nirakurta. And, and by this exact definition, you cannot explain bliss of the self to others, because human beings are only used to the pleasures of life, the comforts of life, and what he believes to be pleasant. You say, if I have this woman, I will be very happy. If I have this home, I'll be very happy. If I have this, I'll be happy. You see? So their pleasures are different, you see. And when you talk to them about Gnanvidhi pleasure, the bliss of Gnanvidhi, they cannot understand it, you see. And you need to be very sure what you're talking about. Akashaya Bhaav, no Kashayas, zero Kashaya, is associated with the self, you see. So Akashaya Bhaav is sukh, is bliss. Other words, Nirakurta is bliss. In other words, you are not affected by what is going on, pleasure or pain in this world. That is bliss. That is the bliss of the self, you see. That bliss of the self can never decrease. It can only keep on increasing. It cannot decrease. For us, from the day we receive 12.5, as we settle these files with equanimity, you see, our Nirakurta, our bliss, will keep on rising. As we understand Vyavasthit in exactness, our bliss will keep on rising.
Nirakurta es la dicha del ser. Y es de otra forma de ser llamado. Esto no lo puedes explicar a otros, porque las personas creen que su felicidad, su alegría y el placer pasan por el confort, por la casa, por la mujer, por todo eso, y no pueden entender. Nosotros recibimos la dicha del ser de Gnanvidhi, y hablamos de esto y no lo pueden entender. Y no tener que sin Kashaya está asociado con esta dicha del ser, y el no sentirte afectado por nada que suceda afuera. Y esta dicha del ser no decrece nunca, solo va a crecer. En el Gnanvidhi se establece, nos da este entendimiento de resolver todo con ecuanimidad. Y poder entender Vyavasthit por completo ayuda a que nuestra dicha vaya surgiendo cada vez más.
And Dadashri answers beautifully. The question was, in the prevailing Nirakurta, as a Mahatma, in the prevailing Nirakurta, is change that happens, the slightest change that happens, is that called pain? And Dadashri says, any change that happens in Nirakurta is indeed called pain, is it not? You see, it is called Vyakurta. You have become Vyakur. Now you have become uneasy. You see, you were in bliss of the self and now you are uneasy. That is pain. That is pain at the subtlest level. Look at the definition of Dada's pain here. Pain begins when you slip from yourself. You see, from your own self. Soyamapura, Evasamapura, I am the blissful one. And you slip from that, and akud vyakud state will begin. Easy, uneasy, easy, uneasy, easy, uneasy, all day long. You see, and that is pain. That is pain. So Dada has given us the subtlest definition of pain, you see. You know?
Tada sigue diciendo que le dice, ¿no?, que cuando en el Nirakurta creo que prevalece, existe cualquier cambio que suceda en Nirakurta, eso es dolor en un nivel muy sutil. El dolor surge cuando te caes del ser, cuando te sales, cuando te resbalas. Y en eso, en ese espacio de salirte, es donde las cosas son fáciles, difíciles, y ahí comienza el dolor.
Yeah. And I'm just writing. You don't need to worry about what I'm typing right now. Marcella can do it. I know we're about to take a break, and after this break, we will come down to this very magnificent sentence that we all repeat in the Gnan Vidhi, which Lord Mahavir also repeated when he took his Diksha, you see. Ego me sasho appa nandansan sanju, you see. Sesha me bahira bhava sabve sanjog lakhana sanjog mulla jivenam sanjog mula jivenam patta. And here's the critical thing. Patta dukkham parampara and tamha tamam sanjog sambandham. We have previously discussed, I think, and sabvam tama sanjog sambandham sabvam tivihen samam tivihen osirami. And we will go into a brief explanation of it afterwards. But I was reminded of this because we are coming to the end of this heading. I was reminded of this word pain, you see, and what the lords, the big lords, Lord Buddha, Lord Mahavir, the Vitrak lords have said about the nature of pain and this worldly life, you see. Okay, so let's take a break.
Vamos a un recreo y bueno, y lo que estuvimos hablando es esto, que todos los lores han dicho que la naturaleza, cuál es la naturaleza del dolor. Y vamos a recreo 10 minutos. 10 minutes, Shuddha.
Yes, 10 minutes. Huh? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shuddha.
Qué divino.
¿Qué hace?
Hola.
Okay, shall we wait for the others or shall we start?
¿Empezamos o esperamos a los que faltan?
No, take your time. Let them take your time. No hurry.
Ok.
You let me know when to start.
Cuando estén listos, avisen, por favor.
Gaby, lista.
Okay, Gabi.
Sandra y Carlos también. Apagamos la cámara por una cuestión de que se nos va la señal.
What did you say,
They
Sandra?
lost the signal with a camera, with a screen.
Oh,
So
I see.
they are without screen, so they don't lose the signal.
Okay, all right, I understand. So, after the break, so this thing here, this is part of what we recite in the Gnan Vidhi, in the main Gujarati Gnan Vidhi, you see. And,
Esto es muy importante en el Gnan Vidhi de Gujarati.
Lord Mahavir, when he took Diksha, and his Diksha was Kramik, you see. His Diksha was of the Kramik path, you see. Our Diksha was the Gnan Vidhi, you see. Diksha means initiation.
Cuando Lord Mahavir tomó Diksha, que es la iniciación quiere decir Diksha, él estaba en un camino krámico.
Yeah, initiation actually into the self, we initiate everything to begin everything, but in the relative, but this is the initiation into the self, into the state of sannyas, in the state of moving away from the world. Sannyas is to really, the real meaning of sannyas is to be beyond the world, Sannyas means state beyond the world,
Cuando Lord Mahavir tomó Diksha, eso es iniciación, pero no es iniciación del ser. Y alcanza el estado de sannyas, y sannyas es más allá de lo mundano.
In relative terms, it is called monkhood. He become a monk.
En el estado real es cuando se volvió un monje.
Yeah, you were renouncing the word sannyas, but here we are renouncing. We are coming to the reality. When you come to the reality, there is nothing to renounce. In our Gnanvidhi, we came to our real self. You see that we came to know who we are. That's the final sannyas. You see, it's the final sannyas, final renunciation. In other words, there's nothing to give up. You woke up and says, "Oh no, this is who I am. This is not. I'm not this. I'm this." You see. Yeah.
Yes. Acá en lo real, ir a lo real, no hay nada a qué renunciar. Porque en realidad sería la renunciación final. Pero acá en el Nanbidi es como que nos despertamos y dijimos, ¿quién soy, no?
In the first sentence is ego me sasho appa, ego me sasho appa. This, by the way, this language is not traditional Indian Hindi or Sanskrit. It is called Magadi. It was the language that prevailed in the times of Lord Mahavir and Lord Buddha, 2,500 years ago, you see. In that part of India. In other parts, it was different, you see.
Sashu, sorry, my Sashu.
No, ego me sasho
Ego.
appa. Yeah, you don't need to repeat it. But ego me sasho appa. You see, you can read that over there in the chat. But anyway, it's not important. you know, if this is just I'm just translating sentence by sentence. So the first sentence says, I am one eternal soul.
En realidad cuando nos despertamos es yo soy un alma eterna.
And then the second sentence says, Nan Darshan Sanjuo. In other words, knowledge and vision, Gnan and Darshan, knowledge and vision are my joint qualities. You see, you know, we separate it, but they're part of this myself. I know and I see and I know and I see, you see.
La segunda oración es mi conocimiento y mi visión no están separadas, son cualidades y son las cualidades del ser, de quien soy.
And then the third sentence is Seshame Bahira Bhava, the rest. Okay, so, you know, just imagine this, how beautiful and magnificent these words are. I am one pure soul. I am one eternal soul. Knowledge and vision are my joint qualities. The rest is all external intents. The rest of this intents, the rest of the bhavs, bahira bhava, are external. They are external to me. All the rest are external. All the rest. So what remains? All the remainder, seshame, is external bhavs or intents. You see, if you really look at it, apart from eoso amapura, soyamapura, everything are external. Everything external to me, and they made up of views and intents only. You see, views and intents. I want to do this. I would like to this. This is how I see it. You see, so every human being sees it differently. Two people in the same home sees everything differently. You see, views everything differently, wants everything differently. You see.
La primera oración es yo soy el eterno alma. La segunda es la visión y el conocimiento del ser, son mis cualidades. Y la tercera es que el resto de del resto de lo externo a esto son intenciones, lo que quedó son intenciones externas de mi ser. Es Bhaav, son visiones diferentes. Por ejemplo, en una casa viven personas y tienen diferentes visiones, cosas diferentes que les gustan o cosas diferentes que ven.
You see, and Sabve, Seshame Bahira Bhava, the next sentence is Sabve Sanjog Lakhana. And so these external intents, how will you see them? They are kind of tied in. They are tied in to the qualities of circumstances. Circumstances define these external bhav or intent. In other words, in an example, if you are in a bar, in a nightclub, the intents are different. If you are in a temple, the intents are different. You see, so circumstances define, kind of modify, and your intents are actually influenced by the circumstances. You see.
Yes. Las intenciones, la cuarta es las intenciones exteriores son evidencias. Por ejemplo, si estás en un bar o si estás en un templo, van a ser estas intenciones y van a ser modificadas y las evidencias también. Y las circunstancias, ¿no?
And then the Lord says, Sanjog Mula, now that he has talked about circumstances, because he says, also eternal Amma. I am eternal Amma. I am the eternal Amma, knowing and saying that these circumstances that are there are outside and they are Sanjog. Now the next one, Sanjog Mula Jivanam, at the core root, at the fundamental root of every circumstance, at the bottom of every circumstance in life, Sanjog Mula Jivanam, at the bottom of every circumstance of life, you see, that's the next sentence. Sanjog Mula Jivanam. At the root of every circumstance, Patricia?
Yes, here.
So at the root of every circumstance is the next sentence. Sanjog Mula Jivanam.
En lo profundo de todas las circunstancias, dice el Lord, habla de las circunstancias y dice que yo soy el ser eterno, que conoce y ve las circunstancias, y ve lo profundo, ve las raíces de las circunstancias.
You see? Patta at Sanjog Mula Jivanam Patta Dukkham Parampara. At the bottom of every circumstance lies the generations and generations of pain. You see? So he says, at the bottom of every circumstance, there is pain. You see?
Y en lo profundo de las circunstancias hay generaciones y generaciones de dolor y dolor.
Sanjog or circumstance, okay, at the bottom of every circumstance, there is pain, generation after generation. In other words, see how this is a phenomenal view of the Lord who attained absolute knowledge on this earth of ours in North India, you see. Northeast India, you see. Northeast India.
Poder conocer y ver que la raíz de todas las circunstancias son generaciones y generaciones de dolor. Este es el conocimiento que obtuvo el Lord en el noreste de India.
And so what are we going to do about it now? So then the Lord says, Tamham Sanjog Sambandham Savgam Tivihen Osirami. I hereby surrender my relationship to all these circumstances. I surrender my relationship to these circumstances. See, my relation to the circumstances, I surrender to you, my Lord. So you see, it's always going Lord, 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 Lord. You see, Lord, 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 Lord. It's always, even though the Lord himself was present, living, enlightened, almost, was not completely enlightened. And then at the age of 72, he became enlightened, you see. you know. So the progressive surrender is the answer, he says the answer. Because they are going to appear in front of me, they are going to appear in front of me. These painful circumstances are going to continue to appear in front of me. I surrender them to you, my Lord, my Lord.
Estoy aquí para entregar mis relaciones a estas circunstancias y las entrego a ti, mi Lord, a ti, mi Lord, a ti, mi Lord, y a ti, mi Lord. Y cuando él comenzó no estaba iluminado todavía, pero sí encontró, se iluminó a los 72 años. Y esto es debido a la progresiva entrega a las circunstancias. Y esta es la respuesta final.
So the exactness of the sentence is I surrender all relationship to these circumstances, you know, my wife, my husband, my Lord, my son, my house, my world, my intellect, my abilities, my knowledge, everything. You see, my circumstances to I surrender all relationship to the circumstances to you, my Lord, you see. It's implied, you see, that is implied, you know. So because you see, it's not a physical entity, there is something higher within all of us, you see. We call that Dada Bhagwan, you know, but Dada is given the name Dada Bhagwan, but it's just the higher, you see. And then
Él entregaba todas las relaciones entregaba todas las relaciones de estas circunstancias, las entregaba al Lord. Y el trabajo en intelecto, sus habilidades, el conocimiento, las mujeres, cualquier circunstancia que apareciera la entregaba al Lord. Si bien el Lord está dentro de cada uno de todos nosotros, también hay algo que es más elevado.
good. So thank you, Marcella. And now our dear Laura is doing the typing. You see the next heading on page 25 is Gnan Swabhaav jo Nrleyp. You see, Gnan is Nrleyp, you know, and we talked about without any Nrleyp. Gnan is Nrleyp by nature. Swabhaav. Swabhaav means nature, you know, its own original nature, you see. So now the heading is the Gnan is Nrleyp. Nrleyp, we talked about. I am Nrleyp is a word in our Charan Vidi. Nrleyp Chu. Nrleyp means I am unanointable. Nothing can smear me. You know, you take oil, grease, butter, whatever you want to apply, it doesn't stick to me. I am Tankot Kirna, right? Nothing can stick to me. So I am Nrleyp. I am unaffected, you see. So Gnan, this is a fantastic heading of Niruma. Gnan Swabhaav Nrleyp. You see? And what is Gnan? What is Gnan? Then Gnan is this that is arising in each one of us and that is rising as it arose in the Gnan Vidi and it is rising in each one of us as we understand these words of Dada, you see. And we understand these words of Dada and our the Gnan increases. Our Gnan increases. It's not something that you can give to others, this Gnan. It is your Akashaya Bhaav, your Vitarag state, your unaffected state, Nrleyp state. It is your purity. It is yours and mine purity. You see?
El Gnan es el Nrleyp por naturaleza. Nrleyp es que no soy afectado, no puedo ser afectado. Gnan es lo que emerge en cada uno de nosotros. Surgió en el Gnan-vidhi y sigue con el entendimiento de Dada y de Dada, y es estar en el estado de Akashaya Bhaav,
Yeah.
donde soy inafectado.
Yeah. So now, now over these sessions, we understand what Gnan is. You see, Gnan is a state. Gnan is an inexpressible state of the self. You see, you cannot describe this Gnan. You can only experience it when you are not affected. You see, in this very effective world, this world is very effective. It's continuously doing this to you, and you are not affected inside. You see, you're not affected. That is called Gnan. That is Gnan. You see, that's Gnan. and now this entire, let me see this entire. Dada speaks first. When first Dada speaks, and then there are question and answers. Dada, she says there are two kinds.
Sorry, may I translate
Sure.
El Gnan es un estado, y es un estado inexpresable. Solo se puede experimentar. Y no estoy afectado en este mundo que es tan afectable. Eso es Gnan. Thank you, Shuddha.
So now Dadashri says there are two kinds of Kashayas. There are two kinds of Kashaya.
Entonces Dada dice, hay dos clases de Kashayas.
Yeah. Two kinds of Kashayas. The first one is the first kind of Kashaya is that which causes excuse me, I am just reading this because this is, I want to get it right. And before I give it to you, wow, this is very profound, and so it's very subtle, but it is very profound. Dada is this is Dada in exactness. So let's go. Remember now, Dada says there are two kinds of Kashayas. One kind of Kashaya is when Anand happens inside. Okay, so first, number one, when leisure, sukh happens, that category of Kashaya, okay? I'm going to write only K for you so that you know Kashaya, okay, my dear Laura? Happens that category of Kashaya, okay? First kind is there is pleasure. When pleasure happens inside, when pleasure happens, whether it's inside or outside, pleasure happens, there is that Kashaya there, you see? Yeah. And when this pleasure happens with a Kashaya, when this pleasure happens with a Kashaya, then it creates bondage. It creates karma. When pleasure happens with a Kashaya, it creates a bondage. To create bondage means to create a new karma, you see? You know?
Dice Dada que hay dos clases de Kashais y esto es muy profundo y muy sutil. El primero es el que causa placer, sak, que sucede, que causa placer. En esa categoría, y cuando sucede es cuando un Kashai crea atadura o karma.
You see, Dada has not mentioned this in here, but that is called Rag Kashais. You see? Or, no, sorry, Dada has not mentioned it, so let's not talk about it. Let's just focus on what Dada is saying, because I might give you something wrong. You know, you get some pleasure because Kashaya is happening, you know, but there is pleasure inside, you know. Somebody is talking, you know, and you start talking too, and you shut him up, you see. Now, you also start showing off, and he shuts up. You feel pleasure inside, but Kashayas have been generated, you know, this man has been hurt. This man has been hurt. And you feel, see how you walk around saying, see how I can shut him up, you know. All right, there's pleasure here. There's pleasure here in the first person. But it is pleasure with Kashaya, you see. And that will create karma for next life, you see. And then the second category of...
Please.
Sorry.
Please. Entonces, acá dice que cuando, por ejemplo, para explicar esto, cuando, por ejemplo, yo hablo, una persona me habla y yo empiezo a hablar y lo hago callar, hablo más fuerte o le digo cosas y luego callar, la otra persona se va herida y yo siento el placer de que yo tenía razón o vieron como lo hice callar. Y esto causa placer, pero causa placer con Kashaya y eso crea crea karma.
And so Dadashri is saying essentially that that it is due to these Kashayas. See, is the Kashaya, any kind of Kashaya causes new karma, causes a bondage, you see. So both kind of Kashayas, so all these two kinds cause bondage, okay, bondage or karma, you know, new karma.
Yes. Now you have to say the second kind of Kashaya.
The second kind of Kashaya is which causes pain, directly pain, you know.
Okay.
First Kashaya causes pleasure, you see. You know, you are doing it but you feel good. You know, I mean, the classic example I gave you, you know, is, you know, comes in and he speaks, you know, and he speaks There's a lot of pride, and he just has got, he can speak very nicely, so he shuts other people up. You see, he gets pleasure inside. His pride is going up, his ego is going up, but he's causing pain to others. You see.
Ujú.
Mm.
Bueno, hay uno que causa placer, y después está la otra clase de Kashaya, que es el que causa placer, que causa karma. Y el segundo es el que causa dolor. ¿no? Y, por ejemplo, entra una persona que está hablando y entra otra y dice, uy, está hablando con mucho orgullo y bueno, lo hace callar y
Yeah, or he may
le está
say,
causando dolor.
yeah, or another example is like, a woman, two women are fighting, and one woman will say, okay, I'll get back to her. And, she gets back to her through deceit. And who does it? Deceitful means she hurts the other person. Now, inside, she's taking pleasure. See how I made her suffer? See, I put her in a place. See, she was like this, but I took care of her. All of that causes pleasure inside the person who is doing it. It is called Kashaya of pleasure.
Por ejemplo, una mujer está con otra mujer y su intención es ponerla en su lugar o lo que fuera, y siente placer de haberse hecho cargo, está contenta, y eso también crea karma.
Or
No
when,
como decir, por decir, por engaño o por lo que fuera.
or when you tease somebody, somebody has got a problem, doesn't look, quote unquote normal, but you tease her, you call her names, you see, you are getting fun out of it, you're making jokes out of her, you're laughing at her or him, it is highly dangerous, that is giving you pleasure because everybody's laughing, oh, you are the joker, the other person is suffering. That binds heavy karma, you see.
Por ejemplo, si hay una persona y de la cual nos burlamos o nos reímos, esto es muy peligroso. Puede ser, y puedo pensar que soy muy divertido porque hago esto, pero en realidad es muy peligroso porque esa persona que es burlada está sufriendo, y eso también crea karma.
So Kashaya itself of any kind causes new karma. This is for, by the way, those who have not received Gnan Vidhi. Kashaya causes karma, but otherwise just by knowing anything, you do not create karma. By knowing you do not create karma, by Kashayas you create karma. By Kashayas you create karma. By knowing there is no new karma.
Entonces Dada dice que los Kashayas crean karma, pero sabiendo, con el conocimiento, no creamos karma.
Yeah, so, my friends, it's a long heading, so we end here on bottom of page 25, and then we will carry on next time with this magnificent, subtle understanding, you see, of Kashaya and the bliss of the self, you see. Bliss of the self. Bliss of the self. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Laura and Marcella. Thank you all for your presence. Thank you, my dear Patricia. And Jai Sachidanand. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand, Shuddha.
Yeah.
Jai Sachidanand, Shuddha, thank you.
Gracias,
Thank you.
Shuddha.
Yeah,
Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Carlos and Sandra. Yes, Jai Sachidanand, Gabi, Alicia, Paz, everyone. Who's
Jai Sachidanand, Shuddha.
Jai
Gracias,
Sachidanand.
Patricia.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.